tutorial on Android app development program. In this video tutorial, you're going to learn about how to make a web views in an Android app, how to connect a web view to an URL, and multiplications of websites can be taken through this URL. So, when you add a URL to the prescribed text, where you have to put a plain text there, when you add a text called as a website name or any URL, it will automatically redirect the URL to that page. So now you're going to make a browser type application. As we go to the browsers, there are many browsers in Android like Opera Mini, and otherwise there will be a Google Chrome. Otherwise there will be so many websites which will give you a web view, and it will give a URL to type a text message there, and you should able to transfer that URL to that particular website. So for this, you are going to learn today a web view concept based on Android app development. So now open your Android Studio software. Here I have made a design here. This design is called as web view design. So I'll make a zoom of this design. Okay, now this is the design I have made in this Android activity. In this I have made three views, three palettes. I have took it from here. The first palette is here. This one is a plain text. This is here, it's called as plain text, right? This is called as a plain text. I have taken a plain text field here, and next I have taken this as a button field here. It's not important. This is the button field. I have given a button field for the opening of an URL called as button. I have given this button field as a text I have given it as a button field here to open the URL in this web view. This is the web view I have given here. In the widgets palette, we will have a web view here. For this by this web view, we can open the different types of views. What are the different types of websites we are accessing? All those information will be available in this web view. So through this web view, we are transferring this application to another Google, or for suppose if you given URL in this text called as www.google.com, it will automatically redirects. When we click on this open URL button, it will automatically redirect to the Google page, that is called as google.com page. So it will automatically redirect and it will display as a Google page. So this is the background head which were used in the browsers. So by this browsers, many of the browsers will use this technique. So what is the background coding written behind this web technique? So it is basically, in other languages it's very difficult to write this web view, but in Android app development, which you have a widgets palette or web view, we can use very simple methods to open a URL towards the web views. So by this we have to code a background code here. So I am showing in the background code, we have to go to the main activity.java class. So by this is the background coding we have to done here. I have declared three variables in this design, that's called as plain text, button, and a web view. So I have declared three variables called as button field here first, and edit text field as a plain text field, and a web view. These are the three fields I have declared here. So these are called as a private variables. Three are private variables. We have discussed about the private variables and the public variables. It can be only accessed by the only one method. Okay, but I have declared all these variables here. So after the onCreate method, I have created a method called as openURL method. This is the method I have created to open a URL in a web view. I have created this as a public method. You can create this as a protected method too, but protected method does not be accessed by any of the websites or any of the method. If you create any multiple methods in this, it cannot be accessed by the other methods. Public method can be accessed by the other methods too. So now I have declared this button field, and a button field equal to, it's a button field. I have given an ID of the button or of our id dot button here. This button ID I have given here, and URL text, this is called as edit text field. That is a plain text I have given. I have named it as, I have declared here as a URL text. So I have to initialize that URL text to the edit text here, and I have to give an ID for the edit text. I have given an ID as an edit text here, and here in this web view I have a edit text field ID as an edit text. So I have given this r.id as an edit text view, and for the web view I have given it as a browser here. In this browser web view I have given it as a browser, so it's a type of a web view here, so I have given it as a web view. So we have to find the area, how we have to find this web view through this ID only. So I have given a find view by ID, and the ID of the web view I have given is r.id.webview. The web view will be available here. When you double click on this, ID equal to web view. I have placed this ID on this Java class here, Java code here, and button SBM. This is the button I have declared, and button.sbm.set on click listener. I have given a set on click method here. When we click on the button, what should be happened? This will be declared by the set on click listener button. This method will appear the one we have to do with all these conditions. So now on this method I have given a new view on click listener method. In that I have given a on click method here. This is a method on method concept, and I have given a view called as v. Through this v we have to initialize some URLs, and we should take some references through this view. So I have now created an object called as URL here, that's called as URL text. I have declared a edit text called as here URL text. So I have got a URL text here, get text. This get text gives what the text we have to give as an input. When you run the program, we have to give something URL like www.google.com or facebook.com or twitter.com. Anything you have to give as it as an URL. It does not contain any text. We have to give the input, so you will give a get text. If you want to initialize something initially, you have to give inside this text www.google.com. You have to initialize this previously, and it will consider some classes also in this. So I am not giving it as a CS1. I am giving this as a what you have to give the input. The user wish is to give an input, but we are not mandatory to get google.com if first we initialize or run the app. It does not mandatory for the user, should be mandatory. What the user interface means, it will be what the user likes to do. He can do this every activity in this user view. This is the main concept of the user interface. So by this user interface, the app should be included through the user, and it should be initialized, and it should be a free way to use a user. It will be comfortable to use a user. User can use comfortably with this app, and he can run any of the websites without using any pre-requested, like if you are given any initialized here, it will automatically open that web page there. it will be a restriction for the user to access the other pages. So this is called as the user interface. I am giving it as a user initializer concept. So this browser.getSettings, these are the main classes of this web view. All these classes we have given here are considering as a web view contents. Here browser get settings means it will give a settings as like a browser only. In this class browser.getSettings class, in this method we have to give various inputs like what the browser will have the settings. All the settings are transferred to this activity through this browser.getSettings both classes, and the script code will be enabled like as a browser. So these are the both methods. These both methods are useful to browse through the internet services. If you are connected to an internet only, these two methods will be useful and it will open a web page. So by this we can get it as a browser view. When you go to app or another Opera Mini app or other apps, it will contain many of the codings background. By Android app development, you can make use of the apps by keeping the browser classes. These are the browser classes which are available in the Android Studio separately, so we can construct very easily by this app. So this browser.load URL, I have given a URL object here, and we will type a URL as a get text here. If a user gives a URL called as google.com, it will automatically takes into the URL object and it will be executed in this URL object. So it will be executed this URL as a www.google.com, and the URL will be loaded here in the browser. This is the main view, and this is the explanation of the web view in this Android app development course. After this, you have to go to the open URL class, and we have to go to the onCreate method here. I have created onCreate method here, and we have to copy this open URL class, and we copy this open URL class and paste it here. So it will create a onCreate method here on your open URL method here. In the onCreate method, you have to paste this open URL method, so we can run this method through this Android application like Jellymotion emulators. So these are the main points and the explanations of the web view. If you have any doubts, please contact us. Guys, now the design part is over, so now go to the run button and run the program here. Just click on the run button. The Gradle is running behind the just open your emulator. After the Gradle build is running, there is a code in this ifelse. I have created a class called as ifelse. So I am opening this program. It's already opened the URL here. Just type the program URL here, http://www. I am giving a URL called as facebook.com. Just click on the open URL button here. It will create web page not available. It will give us a link here. Just click on the link and it will automatically redirect to the web page to the Facebook. Actually, in the previous view, the net was not connected, so it will automatically connect to the facebook.com. You should enter the email ID and the password of the Facebook account. So this is how the web pages are transferred to in browsers. So this is the main part, and this is the already the Gradle build is over. So this is how the web browsers in Android app development has been given parameters. Thank you for one and all. Bye for now.